I call it Freya Day because it's Friday, but like whatever. I called my son Benjamin, who I call the little daddy. I called him today, tell him what I did. Alexander and I used to have Mommy Alex days where it would just be him and I. We'd go do something special, just the two of us. Today, my son Anthony, the cat scratch, little one, I had him get all dressed up. He put on a special hat, put on a button-down shirt and some khakis. We're the closest thing that we have, wardrobe-wise. And we made a special event because it's Freya Day and it's the 78. So I took him to the theater, the AMC theater, and he sat and we watched Thor, God of Thunder. And I'm in this pattern. I then came home and I told a neighbor, I told James, specifically that it was, when I went overseas, they called me Hella. That's an inner family nickname. I don't know what that means at Ragnarok. I don't. And they knew and they acknowledged it there when I didn't know what the word Viking meant, that where they were holding me had withdrawn all information from my ability to even know who I am in prime minister terms or ministry terms. So now I'm looking for outward signs. I saw yesterday special operations. They said American U.S. elite. There was these are my professionals in my field of whatever supposedly, but they're overseas now. They're not even close to home. And I was listening very intently to how he describes his profession. And he says that they're in this foreign land and they have to rely on the locals for communications. Otherwise they don't know what's going on. Again, that's how it's been since I was little, is just waiting for some of the humans to even say anything, which they normally don't. Today I walked in the streets. I did my normal exercise walk, and NYPD was handing these out. Now, this is a change. Because when the crazy donkey 1976 entered this, they weren't allowed to hand out flyers, pamphlets. There was some real rough, tough restrictions going on in 2000. I think it was 2001. And that's the extent of my whatever with them. As he went through the academy, I knew absolutely nothing except this one word that he said that him and his class have to reference something, which I still remember. Never told anybody, not even my children. And then I'm looking at this passport to social studies, and I know I've been called Hella today in not Ragnarok, but in Thor. Was played by, she just referenced in a play, was referenced by, I think it's Melissa McCarthy. Melissa something or other. And I think that's to signify where I'm at in this portion or this leg of the journey with the amount of bulk that's been put on and then I'm looking, and hella work is, here's the powder, the powder inside, it says it's edible just by some label. But the powder, I don't know. How do I tell the difference between plaster of Paris and if it legitimately, or some other like Home Depot product, or if it legitimately had a label on before I took it off of, I have others that still have labels on them. Just as an example though, how do I know if the food source is even really real in this version of New York? And then I'm looking at the social studies. It references Troy. Then I'm thinking of Helen of Troy. Helen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, in nickname. And then I know that Brad Pitt was in a movie. He did a movie, I think. I think I saw it back in the day. But on demand, there's a trailer for it. And it says what is fighting this war. And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? When I'm stuck here, like this dark horse American US elite force that's fighting now elsewhere or doing medic work elsewhere, relying on the people of somewhere else to inform them of stuff. And then I'm looking up and I'm like, all right, so what did they tell me regarding Troy, since the New Yorker has educated me, or my son now? Time and space placement, right? I was hella when I was younger and I was over in London territory. That's where they nicknamed me. I'm now back in New York. It was a short, like, whatever trip. And this is how this looks.
I kind of figured that
in trailer. This came out in 2004.
I've fought many wars in my time. Some were fought for land, some for power, some for glory. I suppose fighting for love makes more sense than all the rest. Do you love her?
Father, you are a great king because you loved all of Troy. That's the way I love Helen.
I want her back. Will you go to war with me, brother?
This is why I don't understand why there was ever the problem, whatever the name of it is, with the 1976 label, and why after that, with attempted murders and whatnot, why ever there would be, I mean, there was trailing stuff going into that, but progressively getting worse.
They're coming for...
And then wasting whatever good, beautiful years I had left. The name America has the word Eric in the middle of it for the AM crowd. I don't understand how there was ever anything else drawn in to my appearance. But the last whatever that got thrown in, and we'll use like a spider head reference, was a real problem, being that somehow I wound up in someone's something or other and told someone when they said I was their sunflower, I said, get away from me. I said, I don't know you. I don't like you. I already don't like you. And he said, oh, no, I look like a famous actor. And I go, no, you don't. I said, the guy that I was with was tall. I was like, and was like twice the size of me. I was like, you are the scrawny little, I don't know what you are. I was like, but go away. How did I wind up with something like that? It doesn't make sense to me.
The wind is bringing them closer.
This will be the greatest war the world has ever seen. We need the greatest warrior.
Achilles can't be controlled.
Be careful, King of Kings. First, you need victory.
I won't ask you to fight my war. You already have. The loser will burn before nightfall.
Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
No son of Troy will ever submit to a foreign ruler.
Then every son of Troy shall die.
Now you know who you're fighting.
And if, just for Thor at this point, if Eric is crying over letters written to Michael as one piece of solidarity for thank you for showing me that ear things with noses can be gentlemanlike, beautiful, and respectful in this heathen land. So I don't understand why Eric would ever in America ever get upset when one person stood up and was respectful. And I get like in like a mirror, whatever, mirror the hammer thing. I get that. But that is not worth throwing my entire life away for this one fight.
Is there no one else? Is there no one else?
So now, in the words of the American that I found was the men anyway, I'm going to just show it's the medic and then it's a colleague. And it was what his response was, which of course I take to heart because there's so few speaking humans other than the two that brought me into this world. So ABC World News tonight with David Muir, but E188 on Thursday 7/7. Thursday's really Thor's day. Again, day I was born. My cosmic certain I brought in with help from another cosmic certain. The delivery doctor was a cosmic certain that belongs with Alexander and myself on same cosmic and cosmetic calendar. Not to get confused with star darting and other crazy communication methods of we don't say that in public. Yeah, got that. But sometimes the others get confused. I saw on the Thor thing today, they mentioned the oggi. Well, in Italiano, oggi is now. En français is maintenant. I saw that on the Troy, it said France. The French. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was a Greek and the French. I was like, that's interesting. Oh, come on.
9. Back at base, a colleague monitors the mission and waits for news.
You get into that that expectant father mode. You know, like that stereotypical, like the guy pacing in the waiting room waiting for the doctor to come out and tell you what's going on. The worst part is you know something's going on and you're here and you feel helpless.
And Ukraine seems to have given this veteran some meaning.
Old habits die hard. Just about everyone I knew in the veteran community had a mental breakdown when, Afghanistan fell. And then seeing this one, everybody just wanted to do something good.
Around 7 hours later, the others
So that's that, like, lack of real communication, like real personal communication. I mean, like, if everybody just stopped showing up and feeding you information, what do you do? And here, so today there's a movie.
Shortage of.
So little Anthony, my 2012 baby, and I I was in my whatever, but I had my hat on and my glasses on, and we went to the Bay Terrace AMC 6 theater, and we had a date, just he and I, and it was just so interesting. I even told James later, I said, it's like they've removed everything Viking and cosmic out of the area. I was like, I lack the words to even search for in some kind, like my entire life, to find some kind of whatever. It's so frustrating. So at least I was grateful that the movie had some Viking reference. It had, here at times they call it ancient Egyptian with it's the Viking boat, and then it's there were such references. And about the cage with the children in it. I mean, like the cosmic cage, or like the cosmic nurseries. I mean, cosmic nursery is something completely different, but like the cosmic cage, where the children are housed, in that gap between the generations. And I'm not done with my mission yet, and you're already starting to like pile in. Like, how am I going to handle this when I haven't even completed what I needed to get complete, in falling behind in things that are not used to this much instability and unpredictability.
Of stars in the fourth Thor movie that is opening today. Chris Hemsworth plays the title role again and is joined by Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, Russell Crowe, and Christian Bale. Reviews have been mostly positive. Entertainment reporter Sandy Kenya got some help judging this one from a recent high school graduate, and he is here now with more. Sandy.
Thanks, Liz. You'll meet her in a moment. But first, Variety says get ready for Marvel Mania. The trade publication and industry website predicts Thor, Love and Thunder will turbocharge the box office as it opens today in more than 4,000 theaters.
Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman were given permission to be adventurous, but also to be funny and have fun in the fourth movie to feature Thor.
I was going to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
Love and...
Did I mention that I took Veer. We went on cue.
Love and Thunder lives up to its name with plenty of romantic tension.
The old ex-girlfriend.
And no shortage of action thanks to Christian Bale's character, who is bent on eliminating all of the gods with a special focus on Thor.
It was cool. It was fun.
During a recent conversation with Chris Hemsworth, I enlisted the help of Sydney O'Malley, a Marvel fan who really loved this movie.
Throughout the movie, I enjoyed how I had moments in which I was on the verge of tears and moments where I couldn't stop laughing.
I find it so funny that the one high school student that they chose was Sydney, and it was an O'Malley.
These two are a great mixture. Both work for me.
The star credits his director, Taika Waititi, with achieving this balance.
And as you say, we've had a lot of people respond to the fact that it was hilarious, but surprisingly emotional as well. So we're very proud of it and glad you feel that way.
Thank you.
Sydney is a participant in the Get Real program started by Eyewitness News anchor Sade Badrinois to
Get real. That's interesting. From a real world perspective and then a surreal world perspective. And this get real is like right in the middle. And I don't know if Mr. Surreal or any of the surreal in the halves know about it. I had no hand or participation in it. I wasn't even asked in the real. So, and I'm on like some Jupiter thing as a human at the moment inside this Jurassic Park of like world dominion. What?
expose high school students to media opportunities, such as the chance to interview a star.
Do you think your physique, the way you look as Thor, prevents people from taking you seriously as an actor?
I don't know, probably sometimes, yeah. I just have to work a little harder to show that other side of myself, and I've really loved the opportunity to be able to come and play Thor and have that physicality, but then lose the weight and do other things.
Our thanks to Chris Hemsworth and Sydney O'Malley, who did that interview on her graduation day from Roosevelt High School in Yonkers. Thanks.
Roosevelt in Yonkers.
Hey.
Unbelievable. In the middle. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.